Hi patrons, this is for Patreon members on Diary of a Mystic. I wanted to show you a wonderful way to bring in prosperity into your home, into your business, as well as other magical uses with this little guy. This is called a Rose of Jericho. If you've never seen this plant before, this is what it looks like in its dried state. And I'm going to take you through some steps, a mini tutorial on how you can use the Rose of Jericho and show you how it looks once you put this plant in water. So this is the Rose of Jericho. Here's the root system on the bottom. The Rose of Jericho is it looks like it's dormant or dead right now, which it's dormant, but it's called also the resurrection plant. It's also mentioned in the Bible. Rose of Jericho is typically found grown in Asian countries, Middle Eastern countries. Primarily, it's also found and grown in Mexico. So the Rose of Jericho, this is one plant. Many practitioners, magical spiritual practitioners, use the Rose of Jericho for prosperity work. It can also be used for protection as well. So I'm going to go through and show you the various steps and ways that I utilize the Rose of Jericho. So I'm not going to go too much into the history of the Rose of Jericho. It's also known as the resurrection plant. There's many resources online as well as other YouTube videos you can find on the subject. But essentially, the Rose of Jericho resurrects itself. So it will go from this dried form into unfurling itself and turning green once it's immersed in a bowl of water or a saucer of water as well. So typically I've seen the Rose of Jericho open within a few hours. It can also take a couple of days. In terms of magical workings, I'm going to show you here in a minute what it will look like and what I do with the Rose of Jericho. But when it resurrects itself, okay, it can resurrect anything in your life. This could be with relationships, money, prosperity, protection, okay? And you can keep it. I like to keep mine on my prosperity altar that I have. It can bring good luck into the home. It can bring in good luck through prosperity, abundance, finances. It can bring you good luck in terms of protection. You can also use the water that the Rose of Jericho is submerged in. You can use that water to wash your floors with it. You can also wash down your front door for prosperity. There's many uses for the water itself. It's also referred to as the Rose of Madonna. It has a strong biblical tie, okay? It's mentioned, its symbolism is with the resurrection of Jesus. And it was also given to Jesus as a gift when he was a baby, okay? This plant also, when Jesus was in the desert for 44 days, he drank from the water from the Rose of Jericho. So here's a quote. When Jesus withdrew to pray in the desert, the Rose of Jericho was dragged to his feet gently at dawn, and after opening in the dew of the night, offered the Master drops of water from its branches. Jesus took them with his fingertips to his lips to soothe his enormous thirst, touched and blessed. So, Rose of Jericho comes in a dried form. Will turn green, and I'm going to pause the video and show you what it looks like. So here we have the Rose of Jericho has opened its leaves and it has turned green. I don't submerge my Rose of Jericho completely. You don't have to submerge them completely. I've seen submerging them completely in a bowl of water will cause them to mold. So I like to fill up a shallow dish with water and place my Rose of Jericho in the bowl, okay? And it's not good to add anything else. I've seen videos where people add Florida water. Florida water contains alcohol and it can affect the plant. Also, don't put salt in the water. It's like I'm going to purify it and all that. You don't need to do that, okay? So what I do is, and I'll lift this up so you can see, there's the root ball, the root system. And for prosperity, which it goes on my prosperity altar, I like to add coins. You'll see a few coins in there as well. You could add some pyrite. I wouldn't recommend adding a lodestone. Okay, your lodestone in water will rust. You can add citrine. You could put some crystals in there. I wouldn't put selenite or any type of gypsum because what happens, selenite will dissolve. So I don't submerge mine totally. I've seen practitioners do that, which is fine. It goes completely green though when you do submerge it, meaning the water's completely covering the plant. I like to put mine in a shallow bowl of water. This one in particular took a few hours to a day to open, okay? And the water will dry up. I may take some of the water that it's already in to use it in magical workings, but the water itself will dry up. You don't want this to dry out completely because then eventually it will turn back into this state. And you can talk to your resurrection plant. Okay, it's a living, breathing spirit. Many people consider that the Rose of Jericho has a spirit within the plant itself. You can name it. You can name your Rose of Jericho as well. So it resurrects. All right, it comes back to life. And when it comes, it's in a dried form. I sell these on my website, Nightbird Enchanted, my business site. I like to use the Rose of Jericho primarily on my prosperity altar. My prosperity altar is by my front door. So this is one plant. It kind of looks like it's two plants, but actually it's the same size as this. And this is just one plant. Okay. So I like to have plants inside the home. Rose of Jericho in particular has been wonderful to work with. It's been something that I like to have a living, breathing plant on my altar. Typically, I'll keep fresh flowers on the altar, but I also like having the Rose of Jericho on my altar as well. So, Rose of Jericho, also known as the resurrection plant, in terms of magical workings, the plant is known to resurrect or bring in or bring back alive prosperity. Many people use it in their prosperity work, finances, money. You can also use it for love. You can use it for protection. You can add tokens to the water, such as coins. You can put amulets that are special to you in there as well. And you can also use the water. You can use it in a floor wash. You can wash down your amulets with it. You can also wash down perhaps some crystals if you wanted to. And it's also known as the Rosa Madonna, resurrection plant. And this is what it looks like once it's submerged or placed in water. And it very much looks like a desert plant. Kind of looks like a tumbleweed that would be kind of rolling along the road somewhere in the desert. Uh, Very fragile plant, okay? and this is what it is. So I've seen some videos where people say, it's very dusty. Maybe you should rinse your resurrection plant. I don't do that. Okay. I've never rinsed it. Um, but it's in its dried state. It's a little dusty. I don't see the need for you to rinse or clean your resurrection plant. Also, there's no bugs or, nothing inside of there. If there are, I've never seen any. So this is what it looks like. The video for you. Patreons get first access to this video, and I'll be coming out with more magical tutorials on Diary of a Mystic. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I'll speak to you soon.